What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today we are finally back. After, I think it's been 6 months since I did the video or did the episode covering Volume 4 of 20th Century Boys. So 6 months is a long time. Uh, a lot has happened, a lot has changed, as you see by my background behind me. And as you see, I'm going to be kind of somewhat talking about volumes 4 and 5 today. 5 and 6. Yeah, 5 and 6. Crazy thing is, I did 3 and 4 kind of back to back, like back in September of last year. And then I read volume 5 around October-ish. But at the time, just life got busy. And, doing the podcast, doing this content creation stuff, it is a ongoing journey, a constant struggle of like, okay, what to do? Am I doing too much? And I think I kind of burned myself out a little bit. And it saddened me because I'm coming up on almost a year since I started the series. Well, maybe in a couple more months it'd be a year, but still close enough, almost a year. And I'm just not halfway through the series. So I was hoping I would have been done with this months ago and on to other stuff, but like I said, life happens, and honestly, I had kind of contemplated not even doing any more individual episodes like this and just kind of just reading it all to myself and then just going. But I will say I probably won't do this again for any other series just because it's like, okay, I've learned my lesson, especially I think because of with these being double volumes. So it's not like, oh, okay, I'm talking about, one volume that has maybe a handful of chapters. No, I'm talking about a volume that has over 20 chapters worth of material. And so, yeah. But like I said, I read volume 6 over the course of the last day. And I was like, depending on how I feel when I'm done, we'll decide if I do this. And hey, you're seeing me, you're hearing me. So I'm doing it. Not saying 100% that I'm going to do this up until the end. I would like to try to, because I feel like this is fun to do, to share my thoughts, because I just want to say up front, this series, it is crazy to think that I am only halfway through the series with how many twists and turns that have happened. Now, I will say, for anybody that might be new here or whatever, or new to this 20th Century Boys series, is that this will be full spoilers up until the end of volume 6. So just know that if you have not read this, get out of here, come back later whenever you get to the series, or hey, if you don't care, stick around and listen to me ramble. But yeah, so I'm gonna kind of just like touch on just broad strokes of this, because honestly, it is a lot, especially with this being 2 volumes. I was just going through volume 5 again, and it was just like, man, oh yeah, that was so much happened, and that was just 1 volume ago. And it's like so much stuff happened, because volume 6 was 24 chapters. And so, but yeah, I'm still loving how I just continue to love how everything continues to build upon itself, how everything is just interwoven and looped in together. Because the fact that starting with, I'm kind of start with touching on a little bit of volume 5, and I might bounce back and forth, like I said, because my memory with stuff. But in volume 5, we kind of picked things back up with Yoshitsune and what's the high school girl who was in Friendland. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I can find her name. Kyoko. We kind of started back there with with them in Friendland and stuff, and her in the virtual reality thing back in when with Kenji them as kids and stuff, and her getting to see his face, and so we had that moment, as well as we also had the storyline with freaking Kana and Shogun kind of crossing paths again when she was basically trying to rally the mafia people and the homeless people and stuff together, and they were going in trying to the friends were going in trying to kill and take her out when they had everybody gathered up at the chapel and stuff, but Shogun ends up stepping in and saving her butt. And yeah, it's just like so freaking much so freaking much happened, because like I said, I'm just kind of like glancing through this again. Like I said, it's just bringing back so many memories of just like so much stuff. But yeah, one thing I will say, and I feel like sometimes like some of this stuff kind of sticks out even more, me being a dad. But this high school girl Kyoko, she is so annoyingly oblivious to the danger she is in. Cause in volume 6, there's a point to where, she's telling Yoshitsune and Yakuji that, oh hey, do you mind if I run home real quick and get a change of clothes and take a good hot shower? And they were like, no. Dude, do you not realize like the gravity of the situation we are in? Like, there is no more going home while this stuff is still going on, because they're like, yo, like the teacher that that you were with, like at the end of in volume 6, he gets killed and stuff, and so it's like, do you not realize? And then even that moment when she was trying to sneak out to go to a New Year's celebration or whatever, and Yoshizune called her, and he was like, you really don't freaking get it. Like, you seriously do not understand, like, how naive you are being. And so, like I said, hey, like I said, I know she's a high school girl. She's young. She doesn't know much of the world, but it's just like, man, please pay attention and stuff. But let me see. Is there anything else like I really want to touch on from volume 5? Let me see. Yeah, because volume 5 was just a lot of just her getting to know basically the man that was behind the mask, which that is something that between both of these volumes, I love how like more and more of their classmates from the past keep getting roped in and getting brought up. Even to the point where I'm like, man, like at the rate this is going, by the time I get to volume 11, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you remember the janitor from back then? Yeah, he played a major role too, type of thing. But I just love it, just because it's like, we're seeing all these characters, we're hearing these names, and it makes sense because of how much time has passed since then. They were freaking in like 5th and 6th grade when a lot of these key things happened, and now a lot of them are like 40, 50 years old, and it's like now they're having to recall people's names, people's faces. What did somebody say? What did somebody do freaking 20, 30 years ago, And so, yeah. So, like I said, the end of volume 5 was just really just more backstory on, let me see, what was his name? What was that teacher's name? Or actually, his name might not be listed in here. Yeah, his name wasn't in that one. Maybe he's at the beginning of volume 6. Let me see. It's like so many characters. Sadakio. Yeah, Sadakio. Yeah, so yeah, Kyoko and Sadakio. Um, yeah, just the end of volume 5 was just, like I said, their little side adventure and stuff. And this moment was still so kind of freaky. And I'm glad this wasn't like what he really looked like as a kid. But that reveal when like in the past when he took off the mask and it was like this grown man's head and face on this child's body. It was like, yo, that is some real freaky stuff. But then you kind of find out like, oh, that's programmed like that because no, there were no pictures or no known pictures of what he looked like as a kid, so they couldn't program that into the virtual reality thing. They just had only frame of reference they had was just his adult face, which is kind of like creepy, but also like funny in hindsight now looking at that. But yeah, just them two going on their little adventure and finding out just more background story, and how. Let me see. Sorry, I'll just glance and see. Was there anything else? Yeah, nothing else too much because the end of volume 5 was when Kana was in the car with the principal and basically it got revealed that the principal is working with the friends and all that stuff, and then Kana basically spazzed and used her psychic powers, kind of started activating and caused the car to crash. But yeah, so kind of just shifting gears into volume 6 because that is more front and center in my mind. Cause like I said, I just read it over the last day, but seeing Kana kind of going through like processing the fact that like, okay, even though she doesn't know who her dad is, but the fact that okay, her dad is the friend that everybody keeps talking about, and just seeing her just kind of like stop caring for a good little while, where she meet these guys, they're offering her drugs and all this other stuff, and then we kind of the kind of intrigue starts to pick back up where you kind of have the lady who is the head of the kind of like friend dream thing, and what's his name? It's not Jerome. It's something like Jerome. Manjone. Jerome. Manjone. Where basically there's some big secret that they don't want getting out. And so basically it seems like they find out that Kana and some of the other people are kind of converging on this one location where Kyoko and I still can't remember the freaking teacher's name. Sadakio. Kyoko and Sadakio were at this building. And so yeah, it was sad learning that Sadakio was the one that ended up killing what was his name? Forgive me, y'all, I can't remember nobody's names. There's so many freaking characters. Manchan. And just that confession that Manchan had found him some years back. And Manchan got Sadakio to basically talk and spill information about the friend, only for Sadakio to end up killing him. When it was all said and done, like when Manchan turned his back, when they were kind of having like a final little talk as they were walking together, and he just kind of just comes up behind him, just hit him in the head with a brick and just kills him. That part was very sad. And of course, eventually Sadakio ends up getting taken out because he tried to like create a diversion to allow Kana them to escape because Yoshizune, they had a helicopter, so they came in and got them off the roof and flew them out. Well, when Sadaki was trying to make his escape, the director lady, she kind of was like, you know what, hey, let him go. And at that moment when she said that, you kind of just knew that they must have did something, they tampered with this vehicle or something, because sure enough, the next morning when Yoshizune then was looking at the news, it was just a news report about a car found, destroyed, on fire, burnt body in the car. And so, yeah, at least it seems like he's dead for now. Who knows? He might circle back around later, the way this story is. But yeah, and then it just kind of the most intriguing part that I like super enjoyed, or two parts of this I really enjoyed in volume 6, was the stuff with Kana's mother. The reveal that her mother ended up becoming a scientist. And she had a very big part to play in all this. Yeah, just getting talking about, Kana's mother, and then learning, like I said, that she was a doctor, and that she played a very big role in this virus stuff. And basically, it was just very heartwarming in some sense, but also very tragic. Just watching Kana learning about her mother, who, the only thing she ever knew about her mother was that she abandoned her. After she was born, her mother abandoned her, and it was her Uncle Kenji and her grandmother that raised her. And nobody knew what happened to Kana's mother, whose name is let me see, what was her name? I believe it was Kiriko, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Kiriko. So just kind of like seeing that, and I love that the way so leading up to this, so when they were kind of reading through the notes that Sadakio handed them, that Manchan had made. And so, yeah, when they were going through the notes that Manchan left, and like it was interesting just watching them trying to like work together and decipher stuff. And let me see, because where was it? Let me see. Oh yeah, that was a key last thing that Sadakio said, because when all that stuff was going on the rooftop, he had mentioned that he needs to see Kana to at least tell her something. And he mentions that somewhere in the notes there is a former address for her mother. Granted, it was an address that she had 12 years ago, but it's something, at least a starting point. And so that's kind of what kicked off Kana going to this town and finding this old man at this old movie theater. And basically, when her mother was there 12 years ago, there was a crew that was like doing some like documentary, like some filming and stuff, and her mother ended up happening to be there. And so I just loved that, like I said, sad in a way, but I kind of just loved the moment of when Kana was watching the video, and then it came to this scene, which is basically the cover of the volume, of Kana's mother just kind of be like, no cameras. But then, her mother's kind of confession in a way, which nobody at the time understood what she was talking about when she was giving information about what she had done. But you know, the old man had mentioned that her mother every day would go up to this old hospital up on the hill like she was looking for something. And so, of course, knowing how Kana is, she goes to that same hospital and she ends up finding her mom's office. And then she ends up finding a note. Because I was curious why, when I got to this chapter, and it was just titled Godzilla. It was chapter 9 of volume 6, and it's titled Godzilla. And it was like, okay, where is this gonna go? Because it's always interesting anytime you see, of course, the covers of the volumes themselves always bring intrigue, but also like the chapter titles and stuff, whatever. But yeah, and just finding out that like basically her mother was a microbiologist, and that, you know, they basically were like some of the first people that discovered the whole virus thing. And so the crazy thing is like the virus itself was found or whatever back, like I think they said like around like 95 or so. And so because there was like a small outbreak in like South Africa or something. And so it was like, wait a second, like if there was an outbreak then how did we get to what happened on New Year's going into the year 2000? And they kind of found out, I was like, okay, no, this stuff was planned and all this stuff. And so, and just like the decoding of stuff, because the name of the area that that Connor's mother's research was or the foundation was called the Amicus Foundation. And amicus is another word for friend. And then she gets there and she sees the symbol above the hospital wing. And so, yeah. And then, she said, she found the note saying, I am Godzilla. I trampled 150,000 people to death. And so, yeah, just getting all of that backstory and that confession from her mother, and then that final note, and even the very important part when she's talking about history is going to end in the year 2015. Let me see. Let's see. Sorry I can't come right out and say this. If I do that, will only cause trouble for you all. I hope this message will reach someone who will understand. What I'm about to do now might be too little too late, but it's my only way to try and make amends. I am going to find Dr. Yamain and ask him for his help. And she said, if after the year 2002 they still have power and influence, that will mean my attempt has failed. And said that somebody else will have to stop them. And then like there been another part of the thing where basically she leaves a final message to Connor saying that like, hey, the only thing that matters is your happiness. And it's just like, wow. That was very powerful, very gut punching. And at the same time, I love how multiple people end up kind of being on similar trails, because at the same time, we had Shogun and his homie on the hunt also for Dr. Yamain, because they also came across some information and stuff and started trying to piece together things. And I love whenever we get like those, like the random color pages and stuff. But yeah, Science Lab Memories. And so, and the crazy thing is like, all this stuff happens, and this is only halfway through the book. And, eventually, long story short, eventually, Shogun and them ended up getting and tracking down Dr. Yamain. But I just love all the mystery. I love all the piece finding, because the piece of the puzzle that they had to find was something that Shogun remembered from his childhood when he was talking to to Yamain as a kid about how Yamain had found out from the friend about their hideout and stuff in their book of prophecy, and basically was like, well, y'all's plan is basically whack. Germ warfare is where the real action is at. And so him kind of basically telling Shogun of like, hey, we have our own book called the New Book of Prophecy, and talking about how there is a book in the library where they keep all their secrets, and the only hint he left that Shogun happened to remember all these freaking 30 years later is that book will remain in the library until the end of time because nobody will ever check it out. And it was cool how they finally realized that, and it happened because of the other dude that's with Shogun kind of reminiscing about, what's his name? Kakuta. Reminiscing about how as a kid he had read a book that his dad had in his collection, and he was so intrigued, but he finished the book and found that it's part of a 2-part series. Well, his dad didn't have the second book, so he never got to finish it. And so that's when they realized the book that will forever be there is a 2-parter, because more than likely they have book 1 checked out somewhere, which means that nobody else at the library could check out whatever want to check out book 2 because book 1 is missing. And so them finding the note, and then thus kind of all tying back into all the stuff with the science lab, and when back in like volume 1 and 2, I think it's volume 1, with Donkey and what's his name? Mauro going back to the school to feed the pet after hours, and then Donkey seeing quote unquote a ghost and jumping out the freaking second story window, and seeing all that crap circle back into the story, and then the friend showing up at the school in the science lab. And mind you, while all this is going on, we also get the reintroduction of Mauro and seeing what he looks like in present day, which now I'm super excited because now I know. Oops, nope, that's not him. Where is that is him on the cover of volume 8. Honestly, when I first saw this volume cover, I thought that this was volume 7. I thought that was somebody, one of the mafia guys, because he looked like one of the head guy of one of the mafia factions. But no, it's our boy Mauro. And so seeing like what he's been up to after all these years, and how he's doing his part to try to take down the friends and stuff, and how he is really close with this like really big kind of like singer idol guy who has earned enough fame and acclaim to where he gets one-on-one meetings with the friend. And so that whole moment also of when Mauro was with the singer guy when he went to go meet the friend, and how Mauro came strapped with some explosives on him, because it was like, hey, if I get close enough, I'm going to just take him out with me. But he ended up not doing that, just because he didn't want any unnecessary casualties involved. But just saying, like, him just coming back into the picture, and then him ended up running into Kana at the end, and of course, like at the moment, him not knowing that it's Kana, but everything just finally piecing together. Cause the other thing too is that the singer guy, he also does caricatures of people or drawings of people. And so the whole time he was in the room with the friend, when they were initially sitting down and talking, he was just like, come on. he's just thinking, he's like, man, I need you to get closer, I need you to get closer. And then the whole time when he got closer and they're up there singing, having a good time, he is just trying to burn the image of what this guy looks like, what his face looks like into his mind, so that when he gets out of there, he can draw his face. And so everything kind of leads up to, you know, Morrow going through and basically ended up at the school as well. So did Kana, because she ended up, you know, trying to go back to where the house that she grew up with her uncle Kenji, her grandma, and that's no longer there. And then kind of having a flashback moment to where she remembers that one time when she was a baby, her grandma was pushing her down in the stroller, and some random guy came and picked her up out the stroller and walked off with her, and then left her at the school kind of playground area or whatever, or like the entrance to the school. And then while they're outside, you know, we have Shogun, Kakuta, Dr. Yamain, and then the friend showing up. And then kind of have basically just like a little confrontation to where basically Dr. Yamain is shooting the friend, and, you know, them thinking that it's kind of quote unquote over. And then Yamain not believing the friend when he said, yo, I got this place surrounded. And he's like, all right, I'm out. And he tries to leave, and Dr. Yamain gets taken out. Well, of course, our boy Shogun, always thinking ahead, he's like, well, hey, before we get surrounded, let's at least get a look and see what this dude's face is, because he's not fully dead, but we need to find out. And then we get the reveal that the friend is Fukabe. So we kind of get that reveal finally at the end, and I was trying to remember like Fukabe, like who that was, or even like a kid picture, but I don't, cause I know that name has come up before, but I just can't remember. You know, I just can't remember if we got to see his face already as a kid or what the situation was. But yeah, so very big, like I said, reveal there. And just crazy, like I said, that after all this time, oh yeah, okay, yeah, Fukabe, yeah, he's presumed dead, I believe. Okay, I'm sure we're gonna get right into that when we get to volume 7. But both of these were fantastic reads, and I cannot wait to continue right on into volume 7. So since the last time I did one of these videos, I have since collected the full series, so I have all of them. So now I can just go at my own pace and at my own leisure. And now that I've kind of gotten back, the 20th century bug has bitten me again. I definitely want to try to continue on with the series as much as possible. And like I said, if possible, continue to read these and stuff. But yeah, like I said, it was just a lot just that happened in both of those volumes. But like I said, I just like glossed over certain things. But like I said, it's just, like I said, just so wild that so much has happened. And this is only the halfway point of the series. So I cannot wait to see how this all shakes out, what other timeline things we're going to find out, especially with the year that they're in now, 2015, with this being another pivotal year of like, hey, you know, if things don't shake out now, what's going to happen? And it kind of makes me wonder now, like, is Kana's mom still out there somewhere, kind of just like biding her time to come back? Or, you know, what exactly is going on? Because like I said, you know, Morrow's been missing in action this whole series up to now, aside from flashbacks. And so now he's back in the picture present day. And so it's like, is Kiriko, Kana's mom, is she going to come back into play soon? And then, yeah, like I said, like now that they know who the friend is, I wonder, is Morrow now going to join up with the rest of the group that's together? And yeah, and honestly, and I hope that girl Kyoko, I hope that by the time the series is over, that she gets some more common sense, because she is just so ditzy sometimes. But it's like, hey, you have these people who are literally doing world domination level stuff. They're plotting, and you up here trying to want to go home and get a change of clothes. And so yeah, but I'm excited. Hopefully maybe tonight. I don't know, because it's only 7 o'clock now when I'm recording this, or about finishing up recording. So maybe I might go ahead and just dive right into volume 7. Let me take a little peek at the first pages. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 We going right into volume 7, because I opened it up because there was before I finish up whatever, so there was like a key thing that the girl has said, because as ditzy as she is, every now and then she has moments to where she'll trigger somebody's memory of something or whatever. And so they're kind of talking about, because there's like confusion on timeline stuff, whatever, because in the virtual reality thing they said it was 71, but Yasune, them are saying like, no, those events are from 70, or vice versa, whichever it is. And then basically come to find out, it's like, okay, it seems like they might have switched up some information within the virtual reality game. And then they were kind of looking at like the infamous picture that is in history books of the Kenji faction staring at the giant robot or whatever, controlling it. And then we had a moment to where Yakuji them are kind of thinking back to like, wait, somebody was taking pictures of us back then, and then we kind of get, a silhouette and somebody holding a camera. There was somebody that was following this. That was going around with them, always taking pictures. And when I opened up and took a peek at volume 7, that's where we start off at. So I'm like, okay, yep, we jumping right into it. But because the first chapter for volume 7 was called Missing from Memory. So, but anywho, I'm just rambling at this point. Like I said, it's good to be back reading 20th Century Boys. Apologies, y'all, like I said, for the long 6 freaking months, man, half a year since I did one of these. But like I said, hopefully, that won't be a constant thing, but we shall see. And these, I have no plan scheduled for these, because like I said, these are kind of just as I read them, I'll drop these recordings. So these, I'm just going to just drop whenever I feel like it. But with that being said, thank you for listening or watching. If you're not already, make sure you subscribe to the podcast channel on YouTube, as well as to the podcast feed wherever you get podcasts. And yeah, follow me on all social platforms. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all at Dad Needs to Talk. And so with that, as always, make sure to treat yourself to something nice. Buy some manga, watch some anime, play some video games, and just live your best life. And with that being said, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be easy. Take care. Peace.